What if I told you I'm about to make your Sunday meal prep 10 times easier by showing you these 9 healthy recipes to hit 150 grams of protein per day? All done in under 30 minutes. With 150 grams of protein, this will fast track your muscle growth tenfold. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Leah. I'm an online fitness coach and a content creator. I make recipe videos like this, as well as so many other things for muscle growth, body composition goals, and health and hormones. So I used to look like this, and now I look like this. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been massively underweight, struggling with my eating disorder, and I've been overweight, struggling with my hormones, PCOS, and thyroid condition. So I truly get what it means to really understand nutrition and how to transform your body. And I really have transformed my body by understanding how to fuel it properly. So these exact meals that I have here are some examples of the things I've had over the years to help support my hormones and transform my body, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. That is also why in today's video I'm not only going to be showing you these recipes, but I'm also going to give you the exact breakdown of how I structure my meal prep to hit 150 grams of protein, make meal prep simple again, but also to understand actually how much protein we need to be eating and what macros and calories you should be hitting and how to work that out. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, make sure to keep watching for this recipe video. So, breakdown of how to make your Sunday meal prep way easier. Plan for the week. Plan for the week is going to be your best friend. So what I go for, and this is my system that I always use, 3 of each macronutrients and micronutrients. For example, what I've got here is 3 sources of carbohydrates to have across the week, okay? And we're gonna make different meals out of them, we could rotate them. So what I've chosen is oats, as well as rice, and then potatoes, okay? Obviously you can get your carbs from bananas, apples, fruits, etc., but we're gonna get into that a bit later on. The next thing is choosing 3 sources of protein. Now I've gone for chicken breast, standard old chicken breast, but we're gonna make these fancy, alongside some chicken sausages. So again, a form of chicken, but a little bit higher in fat. You can get Heck sausages, you can get these Aldi ones, which are awesome, great macros, and actually a bit thicker than Heck ones. And then I've gone for some protein powder, steady old protein powder. You can choose any old protein powder. I personally go for vegan protein powder because of hormone health. I can't have dairy, but you do you. If you want to choose whey, go for it. The next thing that you're going to choose is 3 sources of fats, right? So I've gone for peanut butter, standard peanut butter, really easy. You could go for almond butter, cashew butter. I've gone for some dark chocolate because why not? Third and final one is going to be olive oil, which I'm going to use to cook, I'm going to use to marinate things, etc. You could literally go for pine nuts, pumpkin seeds I sometimes use. You could opt for cashew butter, you could opt for seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, whatever it is, but making sure you get a good source of fat is actually going to help the absorption of your vitamins and minerals from your veg and your fruit, okay? Final thing that you're going to choose is 3 sources of fruit and 3 sources of veg. So example here, I've got onions, I've got peppers, and I've got courgettes. And then for my fruit, I've got bananas, apples, and then I've got frozen cherries or frozen raspberries in the freezer, but I'm not gonna take them out because they're gonna defrost, okay? And that is literally you set out for the week. And then all you're gonna do to make it even like more jazzed up, more exciting, is you're gonna use things like herbs, seasoning, you're gonna use like packet seasoning, sauces, things like that are gonna make it different. So sweet chili, ketchup, all of that, that is gonna make it exciting. So it doesn't need to be complicated. What you wanna do is 3 of each, that's what I go for, 3 of each, and then add tiny bits on top to make it more exciting. To make this dead simple and even easier, what we're gonna do for the 2 recipes is as follows. So what we're gonna do is literally just chop up the vegetables, because both of them go in both recipes. So I don't know how to make this easier for you guys, okay? So we're gonna chop up the peppers, chop up the courgettes, potatoes, and onions. And that's the first protocol that you're gonna do. If you haven't seen this trick already for a pepper, what you're gonna do is literally pop like that down, and then you're gonna tear it apart, and then you can literally just pull out the top and the seeds, and it's empty. If you've never done that before, thank me later. Guys, I literally just cut the onions and my eyes are absolutely distraught. We have cut up the courgette, we've got the cut up onions, which literally killed me, and then we got up the cut up peppers. And just a little hack, if you don't do this already. Now I'm gonna give you the system breakdown of everything in here, the recipe, how much, quantities, macros, etc. But a great way, especially with veg, where you know the approximate amount, but you know when you cut up the peppers and maybe it's like 20 grams extra than you logged on MyFitnessPal. Great way when your hands are messy, have a notepad and just pop it here. So I've got like 414 grams of courgette. I now know that if I look 400 grams of courgette and it's 14 grams extra, I can add that later. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we have absolutely everything chopped up. Now all we need to do is we're gonna start with the air fried potato sausage bake, okay? So essentially what I want you to do is get your chicken sausages. And what we're gonna do is literally just cut everything into a bowl that's gonna go into the bake, and we are going to coat it in olive oil and seasoning, okay? I'm actually gonna go straight into the air fryer, just do it there. So we're gonna save, you actually can save a pot. If you haven't already, I would, if you're gonna get one thing that's gonna save your life, I swear to God, I got this on a Black Friday sale. This Ninja Speedy is incredible, like genuinely incredible. It does so much, so quickly. Like I've got a meal in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, which would have taken me about 40 minutes in the oven or on the hob. Like it's crazy. So, and it was like £150. So if you're gonna invest into anything this Christmas, genuinely, such an incredible buy. So all we're gonna do is literally chuck everything into the air fryer. Everything into the air fryer. Literally, don't mess about, you're all good, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your sausages and you're just gonna cut them up into like chunks like this, that's it. Literally use scissors, don't mess about here, you can literally chuck it into chunks. Okay, so we're gonna just put this to the side because it's got chicken. I'm gonna wash my hands. And the reason why we start with this one is because this technically will take the longest. So this takes about, 20 minutes in the air fryer. So again, not too long, but the longest out of all 3 recipes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my olive oil, a little hack as well, if you haven't done this ever with oil, weighing out oil. You're gonna put it onto the scale, you're gonna tar it out, so zero out, and then you're gonna basically pour in how much you want, and then put it back on, and the negative number is how much oil you use. So if you ever struggle with like having to put this on here and like do that, give that a go. It is really, really helpful. So we're gonna put a good drizzle of olive oil, again, making sure we log that so we know how much we're having, but we want it so it coats the whole of the bake because it's going to be multiple recipes, it's going to be multiple meals for us. Okay, I've used 20 grams of oil, but again, you can use little or more depending on how much fats that you have. And then what we're going to do is just literally season it with any seasonings that you have, like it does not need to be fancy. So I'm going to go in with salt. Onion granules are amazing. If you haven't had these already, just in your pantry, these are amazing. You can put thyme, pepper in it, like literally whatever floats your boat. Paprika would be amazing in this as well. Also, garlic granules. You could use fresh garlic if you want, like I'm using, or you can use garlic granules. And then all you're gonna do is literally just, you can either get your hand stuck in there, or you can just toss the mixture so it's all coated in those seasonings. And all you're gonna do is literally pop it into the air fryer, put the lid down. This is honestly so great. All I do is I turn it on, and then what I'm gonna do is air fry and bake, okay? And then all you're gonna do is halfway through, mix it, give it a mix, and that's on, and you can just leave that, and we're gonna get onto the next recipe. We are next gonna move on to the oats, and the beauty of these oats are they are literally the same quantities throughout with small tweaks. As you can see, I have literally just made bases. They're all the same except for this one I've added cocoa powder, and that is it. Then all the quantities are going to be pretty much the same across all 3. So you can just do this and divide by 3. So it's literally dollop, dollop, dollop of yogurt. What I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna go ahead, put the yogurt in. You can use any sort of yogurt. You could use coconut yogurt, soy yogurt. If you have whey, you could use whey. Obviously, if we're going for like an anti-inflammatory diet, we have intolerances, I would suggest dairy-free just because you're gonna probably feel the best on it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my milk in. I'm using soy milk because I'm meal prepping this for dental this week, but you can use any sort of milk that you like. Cashew milk would be really nice in this, almond milk. I know that people really love oat milk. Whatever sort of you prefer, you can chuck in. It's really, really simple and really, really versatile. Okay, so we got to that halfway point, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in, And I'm gonna give my thing a mix. Make sure everything's cooking nice and evenly. Now I'm just literally going in and just chopping up my fruit of choice for the top of my oats. Again, you can literally choose anything you want. Frozen blueberries or fresh blueberries would be great with this. Oranges, even in the chocolate orange one, would be amazing. Literally whatever you fancy, you can make it work. And obviously if you're on higher carbs, again, things like banana, things like mango, tropical fruit are going to be more your best friend because of the higher carb content. If you're in something like a cut, or for whatever reason you are slightly lower carbs, things like berries, blueberries, raspberry, blackberries, things like that are going to be a little bit more voluminous, a little bit more satiating for you. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is I am just literally going to chuck on then I'm going to go for apple on this one, and then I'm going to go for cherries on the final one. If you're going to follow these recipes, you can adjust the oats to suit, you know, the amount of carbs that you want, or if it's pre-workout or whatever it is. Same with the fruit. It's so versatile. This is why I love the beauty of this meal prep. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm basically going to add my fat sources to the oats. So again, you can literally get so creative with this. You could use so many different things. I'm just using personally peanut butter and dark chocolate because that's personally what I love, okay? And I feel like these flavor combos go really, really well. And it is really, really vital to get those healthy fats in. I promise you, your hormones, your health, your energy are gonna absolutely love it. Do not fear healthy fats. They are so essential. I missed out on healthy fats for years, and it was probably one of the biggest mistakes. And a lot of people don't actually realize that your physique will actually benefit when you eat proper healthy fats, because that helps with your hormones. So for me, win-win. Like, who doesn't want a healthy body and who doesn't want a great physique, okay? I'm gonna put a mixture of dark chocolate and peanut butter on the chocolate oats, just because, you know, why not? And I feel like it's a good combo. If you have more carbs, you could add honey on top of this if you wanted to. You could add extra fruit. You don't have to just stick to one on each one. It's literally whatever suits and whatever you enjoy. So that is our oats nicely done, as you can see. So I'm gonna pop them to the side, and then we are gonna go in with our final recipe, which is gonna be our fajita chicken mix. So what I suggest here is, for a great one pan, no fuss, we love to just chuck it in a pan, right? So what you're gonna essentially do first is you're gonna pop your oil, and we need to weigh the oil out. So again, you want a good amount of oil because it's going to be spread across all 3 of these meals, and you can adjust the quantities depending on what suits. And this is going to be your fat source as well. You can add avocado on top if you want. Grab your chicken, and you're just going to get your scissors from earlier, and I'm just going to weigh out my chicken. And don't fuss about with chopping it up, because scissors are the way, honestly. It makes life so much easier, and you can just get it done. Again, with the chicken, you can adjust the amount you need depending on your protein goal. This is for 150 grams of protein. Do as you need for each meal, okay? So if you've got a higher protein goal, obviously just increase the chicken breast. If you've got a slightly lower one because maybe you're shorter or how much you weigh, etc., you just reduce the quantities. It's as simple as that. So if you've ever been confused about how much macros to eat or what calories, etc., I'm going to give you a breakdown of exactly how you're going to do that, okay? So first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to track your food for 7 to 10 days consistently. Everything that you consume, track into MyFitnessPal, and like make sure it's everything that's in MyFitnessPal, okay? And then next, what you're going to do, you're going to take a weigh-in on the first day, and then a handful as you go along. You should have a few weigh-ins by the day 7 or 10. And what you're going to do is basically, you're going to see whether your weight went up slightly or your weight went down or maintained. Now this gives an indication, and it's a great indication alongside TD calculator, with whether you're eating in a slight surplus or what you've been eating over the past 7 to 10 days has been maintenance, okay? And this is just going to give you a real idea of, okay, where is my set point how do I adjust from here? And this just gives you so much clarity on how to adjust your food, okay? So that's the first thing that I would do, is do the trial test week. This is something I do with my clients all the time. And like I said, it just gives you a great understanding. I'm sure a lot of you are already, and we are done with that, so that's great. So we just got this final meal. A lot of you are probably already tracking, which is awesome. But if we aren't, or we aren't as consistently as we'd like, I definitely would do that nutrition test week anyway. And even if you are tracking, keeping a measurement on your weighing so you can sort of get a gauge, okay? Then what you want to do with that data is basically choose what your goal is. So is it fat loss, okay? If that is the case, then you want to be in a calorie deficit. So what we need to do is consume less than we have been eating, less than our maintenance to be able to do that. If it's a calorie surplus to gain muscle tissue, what you want to be thinking about is a small surplus to be able to do that over a course of time. So with your calorie surplus, what you want to be thinking about is you want to be in a small surplus so that we're slowly building muscle tissue. But to be able to build muscle tissue, we need to be eating above maintenance to give our body the fuel and energy it needs to be able to do that. So what I would suggest is start small, make sure you're still tracking your food. This is where a lot of people will gain body fat unnecessarily or get very uncomfortable very quickly and then hate the process because they stop doing what they did when they were trying to maintain their physique or even reduce body fat. And then that's when we hate things and we sort of have this negative connotation with a build phase, or a lot of people like to call a bulk, okay? So what I would say here is you really want to be focusing on making sure you still stay consistent, still having healthy meals like this, and making sure that you're not eating too in a high surplus. If you're unsure as well, drop me a message. I'm more than happy to help. And if you don't follow me already on Instagram, drop me a follow, LeahPanther_ on Instagram. I do loads of helpful tips on how to grow your glutes, how to grow muscle tissue, just like this video that I'm doing today for you guys. Now when it comes to protein, this is a big one which a lot of people find difficult, so I'm gonna go through it with you guys, okay? So when you found that baseline for 7 to 10 days, what you're gonna try to do is figure out, okay, right, so am I at maintenance, am I at a surplus, am I at a deficit, right? And you're gonna basically start with around about where your protein's at. So across the 7 to 10 days, you're basically gonna get your average, okay? You can obviously see over the 7 to 10 days, if I add up every single day and divide it by how many days I was doing the test week for, you know, how much is the average? From there, you're gonna take your average protein amount and start with that as like a baseline. But what you wanna be aiming for is a minimum of 1.8, ideally getting up to 2.5 times your body weight in kilos for protein, okay? Now, the reason why we don't jump, you're gonna notice that probably your digestion won't feel great if you take that big jump. Like if you're having 100 grams of protein and I say to you 2.5 is like optimal and you're like, oh, I can do that, and you jump and it's 50 grams extra per day, you're gonna probably notice digestion slows down, maybe a bit more gas, and you're gonna probably find it mentally a bit difficult, okay? So start on the lower end and we always build up. So what I've gone ahead and done for my fajita mix is I've actually mixed a combination of brown rice and white rice to help stabilize my blood sugar levels. With PCOS, it's so important because I do have insulin resistance to have a starchy whole grain carb to help release of carbohydrates. So that's just a little tip if you are struggling with that, or even with energy, you get extra fiber from the whole grain rice, but then you get the best of both worlds. Our potato sausage bake is done, so what we're gonna do is just portion it out into our things ready for the week. So there you have it. We have those 9 healthy, high protein, easy to make in under half an hour recipes. So simple, like you guys saw how simple it was to make, and I'm sorted for the week now. With a few extra snacks, I'm gonna hit my 150 grams of protein easily, knowing that I have healthy, satiating, high protein meals at my fingertips to go. So there's no double scooping that protein powder and literally gagging at 9 PM anymore. We have got you covered. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like the video, and it means the absolute world to me if you do subscribe. It's completely free, but ensures that you do not miss another video like this, which I'll be dropping next week. So if you haven't already, please, I'd massively appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.